Hey YouTube, it's your girl Stacy and I'm back with another quick video for you. And if you're new to my channel and you're a new subscriber, welcome, welcome, welcome. So we're going to start off our shrimp by cleaning them. I cannot stress enough the importance of cleaning shrimp. So you really need to make sure that you're getting some lime or lemon juice onto there and adding some water and making sure to split the back of your shrimp and remove the back black spine that you see that you do not want to have in your food. So oftentimes when you do buy shrimp, it does come split and clean, but it's also good to double check and do that for yourself. Now we're moving on to the seasonings that I'm going to be using for this pepper shrimp recipe. I did not head down to Kensington Market. It's just too cold outside. So I did have some of these packets of fish seasoning, and I only went in with one of them. I'm adding that to the bowl along with some salt, some garlic powder, some adobo spice, and then I'm also going to add some allspice seasoning. I didn't use pimento seeds this time, but I am using the allspice seasoning, and I did hit it with a lot of crushed chili peppers, and then to that I added some cooking oil. I added the cooking oil so that the seasonings can adhere to the shrimps a lot better. And this is just a personal preference of mine. You don't necessarily have to do it. I just like to do it, especially when it comes to marinating these shrimps or any particular meat that I'm about to marinate. I love to add some oil to it because it just, I don't know, it's just a trick I learned and it's worked for me and it's stuck. So I'm going ahead and adding some black pepper to this mix, and I put enough. I mean, you really need to gauge how much black pepper you will need because I feel like the black pepper is key and essential to this dish. I will add more as I'm cooking. So there we go with the cooking oil, and then now I'm going to add the fresh juice from half of a lime, and I will keep the other half because you will see later on that I'm going to use it during the cooking process. And once I add the lime juice, I'm going to go ahead and hit this spice mix with some of my pepper sauce. So we're going to squeeze the lime juice in, get a good amount in there, and then we will proceed to adding my pepper sauce. Now, my pepper sauce recipe can be found on my playlist, and I like to let that pepper sauce sit for about a week before I start serving it or selling them because I feel like the flavors just need to marinate, and that's what I appreciate most about making my own sauce is that during the marination process I will do a little tasting to see if it needs a little tip more of salt or if it needs a tip more of vinegar. You know, you want to make sure that it's tasting right. Anyhow, moving right along. Now that the shrimp has been drained, cleaned and drained, I'm going to add that seasoning mix to it, ensuring to mix it very, very well. I want to make sure each and every single piece of shrimp is covered in that beautiful seasoning. Ooh, I dipped my pinky in there before putting the spices onto it. And when I tell you it tastes nice, it tastes nice. It's not even cooked down yet, and the spices already taste nice. Because you know what? This is where it all begins. And you just want to mix it up well. Make sure that you get every piece covered. I did keep the shell on. I feel like it prevents it from shrinking too much. You can peel the skin off of, the shell off of the shrimp if you want to, but I've eaten this at restaurants, and even during Carnival, they have women selling it on the street. They just keep the skin, I keep saying skin, the shell on. So I keep the shrimp shell on, the encasing, because I feel like it just prevents it from shrinking too small. I'm going to go ahead with dicing up half of an onion. Now you see the other onions that are there. That's for part 2 of this video where I will be doing the fried snapper recipe, which will involve the escovitch as well as the stewed cabbage. Next, I'm going to go in with some red peppers and dice those up. And I'm also going to include some of my green peppers. I honestly do it because the colors make me happy. You understand already how cooking makes me happy. And a large part of the happiness and joy comes from how colorful a dish can be. And I noticed that a lot of Jamaican dishes are colorful and just so vibrant with the vegetables that they use, especially with saltfish and ackee. Oh God, I love the colors of the yellows and the green and the red, but I digress. Anyhow, now, so I'm going ahead and yes, cutting it up without any gloves. I'm cutting up some peppers and I'm going to use one Scotch bonnet pepper for this recipe because it already has some of my hot sauce in it. I do not need to be extra. Yes, I like me some spice, but Lord, not too spicy. This second one here that I'm cutting is going to be for my escovitch, which will be, like I said, included in part 2 of this video. Going ahead now with some fresh garlic. I am not using all of that garlic for this recipe. I'm using about 2 tablespoons, I want to say. The rest of that will go into the second half of this meal, which is the fried snapper and the escovitch. And so I'm going to make sure to just, you want to prep everything all at once. There's no sense in going back and cutting all over or extra additional stuff. So after it's been seasoned for about an hour, I go back in and I cut down the back. Here's where I feel like I could have just done this from the beginning, but it didn't dawn on me till after that I wanted to butterfly them a bit more. So this is just me doing a step that can be done in the beginning. All right, so look at this clown. Yes, me, the clown. I am calling myself a clown. I thought that it would be okay for me to use a smaller frying pan to make this dish. I had underestimated how many shrimp I had initially bought. And so I just wanted to just include this because you know what? It's a part of the cooking process where you finally find yourself like, wait a minute, this is not going to work. But I want you to just, enjoy and have fun and just be like, laugh at yourself a little bit. I tend to do that often. Life is too short to take things too seriously. So I switch up the pan. I use a bigger saucepan. It's doing what it needs to do. The shrimp can now actually cook properly. It's still a lot of shrimp for the pan, but you know what? It's okay. We want to make sure that we can cook the shrimp. That's the whole point of it. Getting all of the shrimp cooked evenly, and in that small pan, it was not going to happen. So, laughing at myself because, like I said, life's too short. Moving on, I added some cooking oil to the pan. Now, I already started with cooking oil, but I added a little bit more because I think a lot of it was left in the other pan, and that's cool too. Go ahead and add your garlic, stir that up, get the shrimp nice and covered with it. And then once that's done, you can go right ahead and after I finish my cleaning, that OCD be kicking in hard. You can go ahead and add your peppers and your onions, and that includes the hot pepper as well. Get that nice and stirred up. Get those sauteed right in with the shrimp and the garlic. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some paprika. Some people use red food coloring. I prefer to go in with a spice to give it a little bit of that red shade to it. And then I'm also going to add some of my pepper sauce. And I'm going to hit this with the other half of the lime that I had from the top of the video. And then once that's done, I'm going to combine all of it together, ensuring that each piece of shrimp gets a nice hit of that flavor because it's all about the flavors. And here is the pièce de résistance, and that is the butter. You want to put the butter. I put 2 heaping tablespoons of butter in there. And the butter is what, honestly, this is what seals the deal. This is what makes this dish so succulent. And I promise you, you can never go wrong with shrimps and butter, honestly, in any recipe. Butter is like the key component to just making them so savory and delicious. And happy dance again, but not so happy with it because I do add a bit more black pepper. I felt like it was just missing just a little hint of it. So I'm adding some and mixing it all up in there. It's tasting nice, but I got to taste it again just to be sure that it's exactly where I need it to be flavor-wise. Turns out it is. It's done. That was so quick and easy, and there you go. There you go. And I had that on the side with the snapper and my dumpling and plantain. And that was so quick and so easy. I want to say thank you to all my subscribers and viewers. And if you're new, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Remember, God is good all the time, and all the time God is what? Good, y'all.